And we are going to start. Matter of fact, I want to go to, let's go to 34. I just want to finish that. I think it kind of uh goes right into this. All right. But let's go to 34. Okay. Sorry, let me get this together. And okay, Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, right? So 34, and I want us to start at verse 24. Okay. When one prayeth and another curseth, whose voice will the Lord hear? All right. So when somebody's praying and somebody's cursing, who is the Most High going to acknowledge? Who is he going to hear? Verse 25. He that washes himself after the touching of a dead body, if he touch it again, what availeth his washing? Okay. And like I said, last week, this was very good. So we understand it. When you touch a dead body, according to the law, you're unclean, right? You're unclean. Okay. If you touch again, what availeth his watching? So if you were unclean from touching a dead body, you have to go through the purification aspect, and then you can be good. All right. Touching dead body don't put you in sin. Okay. However, you have to go through the cleansing law, right, to now be reinstated, lack of better words. Okay. But if you are going through the cleansing process just to get, dirty again, it's like, what's the point? What's the point of that washing? Right. You're dirty from outside, then you come and take a bath just to get dirty right back again. It's like, what's the point of that washing? Okay, so this is what the Most High is bringing out. Even when we looking at this, right? We think about cursing, right? We should be knowing better. Okay, you have repented, you have asked God for forgiveness with all the things you have done, and then you're going to go out and just start throwing cursings at people. Okay, you think He's going to hear that? So not the same person just well, not to say you should use, what they call as, vulgar language and stuff now, right? But that cursing much deeper than that. Okay. So we want to be mindful of that. All right. Definitely being clean. We are being judged by, the words that's coming out of our mouths. So we need to be very careful of what's proceeding out there. All right. So we should not be fooled that we're going to be throwing out cursings and thinking God is going to, hear our prayers and things of that nature. Okay. Verse 26, last verse. So is it with a man. Okay, listen, he's making this comparison with the touching, and unclean and then washing himself. And what's the point of that? He's saying it's such as with a man that fasteth for his sins and goeth again and doeth the same. Right? Who will hear his prayer, or what does his humbling profit him? All right. So fasting is being referred to as humbling, right? Because you bring yourself, Lord, I messed up, trying to get forgiven, right? Saying, what's the point of you go back and do the same exact thing? Okay. So definitely guilty of this, right? Used to fast. Fasting is good, all right. But I start turning my fast into what? Starving myself. Right. I'm going right back to what I was doing. Okay. So um we have to realize when we're doing these things, it's not just fast, we're doing these things that cleanse ourselves up. We don't want to revert back to what we were. Okay. God is scrubbing us and cleaning us up, and then we want to jump back and doing things that we know is not right. Okay, that's how he's saying, what's the point of it? Okay, all right, let's go to the chapter now, chapter 35. Okay, chapter 35, verse 1. He that keepeth the law bringeth offering enough. He that taketh heed to the commandments offereth a peace offering. Okay. So if you keep the law, you bringeth offerings enough. So this is something giving us insight. And we talk, people talk about the spiritual aspect of the Bible, right? So when we look at the laws, I say there's just like Paul says, law spiritual, right? This is a spiritual aspect, right? It's not just we have laws that okay, you bring these offerings, right? You do these things, right? And people think, and we got sometimes our forefathers, foremothers who caught up on make sure the offering perfect. Even though I know I'm gonna do the same thing, I'm gonna make sure his offering perfect because that's what God worried about. Make sure that offering's perfect. But no, the offering's supposed to be a reflection of what's inside. All right. So this, when you mean to do well, you're going to offer well to the Most High. Okay. But some people was bringing that offering naturally that was without blemish, great and acceptable. But guess what? God was rejecting a lot of those offerings. Why? Because they weren't doing well. Okay. You do wrong, your offering isn't right. Okay. So look at this. He that keepeth the law, so keeping the law, you're doing the things, bringeth offering enough. That's enough as offering. That's considered offering. He that taketh heed to the commandments offereth a peace offering. So when you're listening and doing the commandments, you're still giving offering. Okay. So when we talk about the we call the Mosaic law, when we're doing the actual bringing the offerings, right? We had to do that. But now, even though we don't have the temple, in offering that system, okay, we are still doing what? We're still offering. We're just not literally bringing the lamb, literally doing these things, right? But us being obedient and doing the things that Yahweh Shai instructed us, right? That is the offering that we're giving, okay? Because the true offering is what? Not the lambs and the bullocks, not that blood, but what? Us. We are the living sacrifice, according to Romans chapter 12, okay? So, verse 2, okay? And matter of fact, let me just, so we get that principle always been there, I like to say, because people try to put it, oh, this is something new. No. And this ain't even New Testament anyway, okay? But just for some people, let's go to, I think it's 1 Samuel. Let me flip it on the page. Let me put it on the screen. All right, 1 Samuel chapter 15, beloved. 1 Samuel chapter 15. I'm not going to precept every verse. I was tempted to, but I'm not. Okay. But let's just see this one. 1 Samuel chapter 15, and we're going to go to verse 22. I think is where I want to start. Okay. All right. So hopefully we know the story about where Saul disobeyed the commandment, right? He told him to utterly destroy everything, right? That the king of Amalek and all that stuff, and the cattle and all. He said destroy it all, but he decided to save some of the cattle. Okay, we're going to keep them. You try to blame people a little bit. We're going to keep some of the cattle. It's good cattle. We ain't just going to kill that and destroy that. Even though God told us to, we're going to keep some of this stuff. Might make an offering out of it. Okay, this is when we sometimes lean to our own understanding instead of what doing what the Most High told us to do. Okay, so let's go to verse 22. And Samuel said, have Yahweh as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifice as in obeying the voice of Yahweh? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. Y'all see that part, beloved? To obey is what? Better than sacrifice. Obedience always been the key. It was never, people like, oh, see, the Old Testament, they didn't know certain things. And they were just, they were under that. But we got, no. The ones that was in the spirit, Holy Ghost was on, they were revealing these things way back then. Obedience always been better than sacrifice. Okay. And to hearken, to listen to God is better than the fat of rams. And why is it the problem? Because a lot of times the world is doing what? They're doing a lot of sacrifices, and they think that's going to help them out when it comes to being disobedient. I know you said do this, but I'm going to give you this, right? I know you said the Sabbath day, but I'm going to give you Sunday. I know you said this is the things we should eat, but I'm going to do that, right? We always disobeying and thinking that good is going to come from it. And what's worse than that, we teach that. Churches are teaching that, okay? So obedience is always key. And verse 23 while we're here, all right? Verse 23, for rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. So when you're being rebellious, he's saying it's a sin. And just to make it a little bit, he compared it to witchcraft, right? A lot of these places have what? Witchcraft being spread. See, they think you need that big old, I don't know what that is, that big old thing where they making this concoction and the smoke come up in different colors, and you got the witch with the pointy nose. They think that's witchcraft. No, the Most High is saying when you being rebellious, that's how I see witchcraft. And stubbornness, you want to be stubborn, is as iniquity and idolatry. Oh, you thought idolatry just you had to go and make some idol and say, "Oh, this is my new God," and doing all that. Nope. You being stubborn to what the Most High is saying. He's saying this is the same thing. Okay, but they don't want to teach that because then you're going to start looking at them differently, saying, "Well, you look at this. You ain't doing what God's saying." Okay, this is how you're going to be able to decipher who's of God and who is not. Okay, all right. Let's go back to Sirach or Ecclesiasticus. All right, let's go back. All right. So he's making some analogies with, the sacrifices we were doing and the offerings we're doing. All right, just so y'all catching it. Verse 2, he that requiteth, all right, a good turn offereth fine flour. Right? And he that giveth alms sacrifice praise. All right. So you requiteth a good turn. That's just like you what? Offering fine flour. Okay, we don't have to go to it, but just let you know when you go to like Leviticus and it's talking about the sacrifices, we will put fine flour. We can offer that. All right, so that's what he's making. You have to, some of the law, you can understand that, the comparison, contrasting that he's doing. Okay, he that giveth alms, right? We give alms, right? That's just like what? Sacrificing praise. So think about that, right? When you're giving, helping one another, that's like you what? You're giving that praise. Okay, so he is showing us, all right, don't just get caught up on that aspect of offering. Well, I'm just doing this perfect, right? No, it's everything we're doing. All these commandments and everything that God has instructed us to do, all that stuff is counting. And this is what the Most High, this is what we're offering to the Most High, right? When you're doing good towards your brother and sister, that's an offering. All right, you're doing it. So we're constantly offering. You got to ask yourself, what are you offering to God? Okay. You offer the wrong things, abominable things, then guess what? He's not responding to you. He's not going to be listening to you, right? So some of us asking, why are our prayers going through? Sometimes we're offering wrong stuff with our behavior, okay? I tell you, even like the Sabbath, I used to think, oh, just as long as you make to the Sabbath and you're not working, you're good, right? But no, the Sabbath is a mindset. It's a lifestyle that comes with the Sabbath, right? You're preparing yourself, right? All those kind of things. Have your mind stayed on them. You can't just be wicked through the weekend and think the Sabbath is going to cure it all. Now you're holy. You're keeping it holy. No, you keep it holy by how you're doing the rest of the week. Okay. Let's keep going. Verse 3. To depart from wickedness is a thing pleasing to Yahweh, and to forsake unrighteousness is a propitiation, right? So we hear that word propitiation, even the New Testament talks about referring to a Christ, right? So we're seeing what? To depart from wickedness, this of course is pleasing to the Lord. That should be common sense, right? And to forsake unrighteousness, all right, is a propitiation. So just resisting it, all those kind of things, all right? The Most High is keeping count of that. Even things, because this is beautiful, beloved, things we weren't even considering. When you just like, I'm trying to do things right and everything, and you're not even taking it. The Most High is looking at that, right? It's a report on, okay, they're doing this stuff. So before you even ran across the truth, there were certain things you were doing already that the Most High, you was offering up that sacrifice. Even though you probably wasn't conscious of it, right? Through your actions, you was offering up that sacrifice. That's what the Most High, what? Just like he said, your arms went up, right? It wasn't that you was literally giving out stuff, but your arms was going up because you were doing certain things, right? You were being kind. You were being sweet. You were being uplifting, all those things, all right? So the Most High was considering all of that, right? And thank God he considered those things even when we were too ignorant to understand what we were doing, all right? Anybody got anything before we go? Oh, Brother Kai, I just seen your message. You could have just jumped in, okay? But that's up to you. I don't know if you're still available, but that's up to you. All right.
God, I'm still available.
Okay. Yeah. They like to hear your voice as a reader. They don't want to hear my voice all that time. All right, let's go. Let's go to verse 4. Verse 4.
Thou shalt not appear empty before the Lord.
So
all these things are to be done because of the commandment.
So we should not appear empty before Lord. Should be sounding familiar. Let's go to it real quick. Exodus 23. A lot of these are already references, all right? Like a lot of writers, prophets and stuff do. They'll reference some of old. Okay. I thought it was 23 for, I thought it was 23 for, where's it? 15, not 5. All right. So this is when they were dealing with some of the feasts. So might have read this year, I'm not sure. All right. So 23, and let's go to verse 15. Exodus 23 and 15.
Thou shalt keep the feast of unleavened bread. Thou shalt eat unleavened bread 7 days, as I commanded thee, in the time appointed of the month Abib, for in it thou camest out from Egypt, and none shall appear before me empty.
Right. So basically, we will have to bring something to the Most High. All right. And that will be with the offering. When we do offering stuff, that's considered bringing it to him. But we don't show up empty. United States don't show up empty handed, right? You better offer something, get to have something. Same thing with God. You want to offer something. Okay. Didn't say the amount because people get all caught up on the amount. No. Wherever the Most High bless you with. If he bless you with very little, guess what? You just present, you get very little. He bless you abundantly, you give abundantly. Okay. Let's go back to Ecclesiasticus. Okay. It says, thou shalt not appear before me, before the Lord empty, for all these things are to be done because of the commandments. So we're doing these things, beloved. We are doing a certain offering as well. Okay. Something like, oh, I got brought money, right? No, your actions, all right. We're bringing those fruits of the spirit, right? Those things. This is what's counting. This is the weight, beloved. All right. Money come and go. That's temporal. We get the understanding of taking care of church business, but really realize, beloved, and we're going to see it through this. Your behavior, your work is crucial. All right. That's you. That's the fruit of the spirit. That's what you got to be offering up. Okay. So make sure we are focusing, right, on our lifestyle, our walk with God. Okay. Verse 6. Let's keep going. Verse 6.
The offering of the righteous maketh the altar fat, and the sweet savor thereof is before the Most High. The sacrifice of a just man is acceptable, and the memorial thereof shall never be forgotten.
So offering righteous maketh the altar fat. Okay, so it'll be plenty of with it. It's always abundant. When you think about fat and everything, like abundance, right? So the righteous, okay, they're coming in and it's plenty. It's more than enough. All right, because they're doing the things that's right. Their sacrifice is always greater than somebody that's not doing right and bringing something. All right, so they can have that. I'm just giving an analogy, right? They got let's say two different sheep they're offering to the Most High, right? It can be the same size, same weight, everything, right? But one is going to be greater than the other because what? Not because of what the offering is, but because of the person offering it. One can be what? Abominable to the Most High, and one can be a sweet smelling Savior. Okay, but that is the fault of what the person bringing it there. Okay, so this is why I said it's very crucial that we live this thing. Okay, verse the sweet savor thereof before the Messiah, yes, the sacrifice of a just man is acceptable. All right, and the memorial thereof shall never be forgotten. So he will not forget. Right, so the Most High does not forget our suffering, and in the New Testament talks. I believe the New Testament talks about that as well. Right, not forgetting those acts of kindness. He's not forgetting the sacrifice we have done. Okay. The persecution we received of others for the cause of Christ, he's not forgetting those things. Them things are going to be a memorial for us. We mean it's going to be more, it's going to be there. He's going to be reminded. Even in death, guess what? He knows the things we did, okay, because he's judging according to your works. The works have a what? A memorial. Right? He's going to bring those things in remembrance, the memorial. Okay? So this, once again, beloved, want to make sure we are living this life so we could be accepted and we bring a memorial before God. Okay. Anybody got anything? Sorry, I haven't even been looking at the board. Let me see. Okay, I think we're good. All right, let's keep going.
Give the Lord his honor with a good eye, and diminish not the first fruits of thine hands. And all thy gifts show a cheerful countenance, and dedicate thy tithes with gladness.
and we talked about this recently. You can read verse 9. I'm going to Proverbs after that.
And all thy gifts shew a cheerful countenance, and dedicate thy tithes with gladness.
So, beloved, with everything we do, we got to make sure that we understand he's still always been judging the what? The heart, the intent, the mindset behind it. Okay? Because once again, look, give Yahweh his honor with a good eye, right? We have to have good attention. Give this, oh my God, I could have did this with this money, right? It shouldn't, we're not even supposed to think like that. We should be thinking, man, the Most High, I wish I had so much more abundant because the Most High deserves it all and more, right? So we want to have that when we're coming. And diminish not the fruit, the first fruit of thy hand. Okay. So he's supposed to get the what? The best. Right? That's what the top, all that kind of stuff was represented. We give him the best. Don't diminish. Don't take away from giving him the best, beloved. Don't give him seconds, thirds, fourth. No, he wants the best. Okay. So when we receive anything, he should get the first cut because he's the best. Okay. And this is something we go all the way to the beginning. We Cain and Abel, right? One sacrifice was all acceptable, right? Because it was the best. The other one wasn't the best. It doesn't mean it had to be the worst, but I want you to understand it. It ain't that something had to be the worst. To us, sometimes the second best is like, man, this is just as good as the first. But in God's eye, no, I want to be number one. So you're going to make you're going to prioritize. He's trying to make us prioritize that in our minds. With everything we're doing, he's trying to get us to understand he takes priority over everything. All right. He don't want to be second to nothing. Neither should he. Okay. So let's go to Proverbs 3 real quick. I just want to read some Proverbs 3 and verse 9. All right. We have Proverbs chapter 3. Proverbs chapter 3. All right. Because where are you getting at that first fruit of thy hand? Where are you getting all that stuff from? All right. Proverbs 3 and verse 9.
Honor Yahweh with thy substance, and with the first fruits of thine increase.
Mm-hmm. So you honor Yahweh with what? Your substance. People are like, oh, he ain't worried about it. Yes, that is a form of how you can honor him. Okay. It's not saying it's the only way you honor him. Okay. But that was a form. How do we know? Because the law was showing that. When you give something, beloved, it's powerful when you give it of your own self, right? It's ladies, if you get a gift from a guy, it's different when they worked hard and gave you something, right, off their hard work, than maybe somebody else buying on their behalf for you, right? It'll kind of take the specialness out of it, right? You're like, I guess thank you, but that wasn't from you, right? Even with the children, they can buy a generic maybe card, which is nice, right? But that card that they actually put their time in, even though it might be, they might not spell things right, it's more impressionable to you because what? That was from you. Okay. So this is why even the Most High, he don't want stuff you gained from unrighteous means and things of that nature. All right. It ain't about the money. It's the mindset, beloved. All right. What can I give for me? What can I do? All right. So that's why he was requiring those laws with the tithes and the offerings and the sacrifice, right? It's of you. All right. To get you in that mind state. Okay. Or state of mind. All right. So I have with thy substance and the first fruit I increase, but that's not over. Read verse 10. Because that's not a finished statement. I ain't a period.
So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with new wine.
And he probably had to put that in there because people get so caught up. I don't want to give it. That should have been good enough. Verse 9. Honor the Lord thy substance. And with the first fruit all that increase. That should be enough for us. But sometimes, Israel, we like, nah, I don't know. So he just threw that caveat in there for you. So if you just so tight, guess what? When you do this, your barns will be filled with plenty. And the presses shall burst out with new wine. This is where you talk about you won't have room to receive. This is where the church, they get these kind of things right. The money stuff right. They get all that kind of stuff right. Okay. Well, I ain't gonna say that because they're just trying to get the money. But when you're doing it right with the right intent, pleasing God, not man, pleasing God. Right? He sees that. There was times of not making much, right? Gave him what I had. Knowing that what? He knows what I have. They expect me to go something I don't have. What I have, I made this a little bit. I'll give you this. And Lord, I want to make enough where I can give more and everything. And guess what? He did. Bless me, I make more. Guess what? I can give more. When you really look at it, it's not a bad, right? Not a bad deal. I don't want to look at business investing, but that's how he's putting it. You give me your best, I'm going to fill your barns with. Can't beat that, beloved. I'm not going to look at why am I not okay? Why I feel like I'm struggling? Are you doing this part? Are you putting, as I say, it's not just, are you putting them first? Are you giving the best of your research? Are you giving the best of your time? Or do you give them leftover time? Right? All these things, beloved, will reflect in our relationship with God. Okay? Relationship with God. The faith, our faith. That Will's might was so strong because she believed it. That's all I have. She rent our heart in that offering. That's why the Most High bless her. She had all those rich, sometimes fairly sad. See, they coming in with their, abundance and everything. Christ, I see you. Some of y'all just doing it for the show, and that's all you get right there is that show. God ain't worrying about that. But those that have their minds that, Lord, I'm giving this to you. This is a small token of my appreciation for all you have done. Because I know I could not even, the things I have is only because of you. So that's a small thing. Somebody buy you fries, right? You didn't do nothing, they bought you fries. Isn't it a small thing for you to pull out percentage of it and give it back to them? God gave us the whole, but a lot of us don't think God gave us all the fries. We think we got the fries, and then we give them, no, he bought you the fries. And all he said, let me get some of the fries. And okay. And he tell you keep that. That's a beautiful deal. But we have to understand that's how the Most High is working. That's what he's doing. You didn't get that job because of you. You got it because he had people favored. But we'll sometimes forget about it. Okay? We don't want to do that, beloved. All right. Let's go back. Let's go back. All right. Let's go back. And with honor, good eye, diminish first fruits, confidence, and dedicate thy tithe with gladness. So once again, you have to have what? A cheerful countenance and gladness. You see the expression you have to have, the characters you have to have when you're giving. It should be, oh, we're going, more money. I could use the money for this. He don't want that. Okay? The blessing of increase don't happen from that. You have to be in the right spirit when you're offering. Hopefully y'all get that from all this. It's the spirit of what you're doing, beloved. Okay? Are you willing? Isaiah said, willing and obedient. Are you willing? Okay? That's what and by willing. I'm just like, oh, I'm trying to be obedient. Okay, you gotta get this. Here we go. I'm gonna give this to him. Here we go. Oh, I gotta give him this sheep. Okay, because he needs this for back, right? And that's why some of them didn't get it. That's why some of them got destroyed because they was in that mind state. Okay. All right, let's keep going, brother Kai. Feel like I'm like a broken record over here.
Yeah. Unto the Most High, according as he hath enriched thee, and as thou hast given, give with a cheerful eye. For the Lord recompenseth and will give thee 7 times as much.
Same point, right? Reread the same point, right? Give to the Most High. I mean, I don't get nothing. Give to the Most High, and He will enrich thee. He will take care of thee. All right. There's some that believe it fully with their heart. You'll see them, and sometimes they are getting, more abundant, and that's where their faith is. Their faith is, I give it, the more I give me. It's a shame, but that's the truth. We should know that way better than they should. Okay, but some of them, that's how they're looking at it. They're looking at it like, I'm gonna give this, he gonna give me back. And they're looking at that exchange. Okay. But when you read verse 11, for how recompensive, and will give thee 7 times as much. So when he reward thee, it'll be 7 times. So think about that, beloved. Right? Talking about investing. We talk about, people get excited when they have when you can double up your money. That's crazy. For $100, I get 200. Right? Think about it, you think you put $100, I get 700. 700 return. Anybody would take that deal. That's how it is when you give to the Most High. Okay? It's not always look back as monetary. Don't look at, I'm going to get 100. I'm expecting God to give me some 700 somewhere. No, it ain't always in the monetary aspect. but he blesses in different ways, right? Sometimes that blessing happens, things that you love resign. Maybe sometimes with your children, right? Your child might have that favor or something. Maybe something happens and it does help you out. Maybe a bill or something, somebody pay. It's all kinds of stuff where the Most High calculates and do these things. All right. But it's not our job to try to calculate how he blessed us more than what we gave. We give because we know it's right, because we're being obedient, and we know what God is going to take care of us. All right. So let's keep going though. We ain't gonna dwell on that. Okay. Verse 12.
Think not to think to corrupt gifts, but such he would not receive, and trust not to unrighteous sacrifices. For the Lord is judge, and with him is no respect of persons. He will not accept any person against a poor man, but will hear the prayer of the oppressed.
Hmm? All right. Your thing was act up a little bit. I don't know if that's my end or not. Just that's why. All right. So
It could,
what was that?
let me read it again.
Yeah, you sound a little clear now.
13 or 14. He will not accept any person against a poor man, but will hear the prayer of the oppressed. He will not despise the supplication of the fatherless, nor the widow when she poureth out her complaint.
Perfect. All right. So we start at verse 12. Do not think to corrupt with gifts. Yes, you can corrupt even with gifts, even with offerings. For such, listen, he said, for such he will not receive. So some people think, oh, I'm going up here offering this, and don't think the Most High accept all of it. No. Okay. But once again, could precept y'all with some of these things. All right. I'll just let y'all know. Right. Trust not to unrighteous sacrifice. Okay. Let's say I went, and this is some of the stuff you get on TV, right? I went and killed somebody, and they gave me money for killing somebody, and then I'm going to go and bring that to the church and offer that, put that in the plate, and God's going to no, right? He does not want that. Okay, just letting you know, he don't desire that. Okay, trust not to unrighteous sacrifices, for Yahweh is judge, and with him is no respect of person, no matter who you are. Okay, he is not looking at it. Do not corrupt it with gifts. Do not offer it. You have to offer it like he told you to offer it. Okay, so what it says, don't does it say with does it say how to word it with it's like prostitute, and one is like a and the head of a dog, the price of a dog and stuff. So it gives you little things to let you know this same thing he's talking about. So in this book, it's not just bringing something out of nowhere. He's just establishing this is stuff you can find in the scriptures already prior to. Okay. He would not accept any person against a poor man, but will hear the prayer of the oppressed. Right. You thinking you can treat your brother or sister a certain way, right? And then the Most High is going to be hearing your prayers and everything's going to be well. No. All right. So people going in, I want to get, oh, I'm going to have slaves and all that stuff. I'm going to be treating them and beating them like this, and God is blessing me. No, don't do that. Okay, that's not how he works. But he will what? Hear the prayer of the oppressed. So as them going through it, definitely as people going through it, we cry out to him, he hears that. Okay? It's like he heard us in Egypt, heard us in all our captivities, delivered out of us. We just go back to sinning. That's why. But but if we would have really repented truly and stayed on the right path, we wouldn't have to worry about none of this stuff. Okay. He will not despise the supplication of the fatherless nor the widows when she poureth out her complaints. All right. So he's now letting us understand the Most High, because some people, don't think you maybe have to be of a certain status for the Most High to consider you or hear your prayers, which is ridiculous, right? But just because you are in need doesn't mean your relationship with God is poor. All right. Just because fatherless, maybe you don't have parents, right, that's living or anything, or they left or whatever it is, right? That doesn't mean the Most High, your connection with the Most High has to be poor, or he's going to reject you or be acting like a father. No. All right. The widow, right? Your husband died off or whatever. Okay. Doesn't mean now the Most High has forsaken you. Okay. Anybody can forsake you. Your resources can forsake you, right? People can forsake you. But don't think that God now has to be like them. Don't attach it to that. Don't always look at it, because some people say, well, if my parents left me, that means God is not with me. Well, if I'm struggling or anything, that means God's not with me. Well, my husband left or something like that, he's not with me. No, don't correlate that. That's not always the case. Okay. Some things are just the design of how the Most High had, or he suffered to be. I'm not saying what he wanted, but he'll suffer certain things. Okay. But he sees it. Okay. Do not let that bad thing that happened, all right, be incorporated, okay, into your prayer life, into your fasting life, into living for God. Don't let that stuff come in consideration, okay? So he's breaking that mold and separating that and destroying that doctrine, okay? So the Most High will hear you, okay? He will hear you. Let's keep going. I think we have verse 15, if I'm not mistaken.
I bet I had it on mute.
Mhm.
Not the tears run down widow's cheeks. It's not her cry against him that causeth them to fall. He that serveth the Lord shall be accepted with favor, and his prayer shall reach unto the clouds.
Yeah. So when you're looking at this, sorry, it's a lot. All right. The tears run down her cheek, it's not her cry against him that causeth them to fall. All right. Yes. And he's seeing that and he's going to consider that. All right. That's not just the widow, right? The widow, fatherless. All right. Those that have been even talks about men have been treating the wife of their youth wrong. All right. It will hinder our prayers. So we better be considering how we treat people. Okay. Because the Most High saying, oh, I'm going to hear them. Right, some people probably got certain titles and job. Maybe they can talk to their wife a certain way or disrespect her, or she's like nothing, a second class citizen. Right, you treating her like that, and you thinking God's dealing with you. See, this is that illusion and deception that some brothers be under. You think God dealing with you? God ain't dealing with you, but you know who He is dealing with. You know who He is hearing? That one you was treating bad. And when she goes there and start praying and everything and crying out, not that she's trying to destroy you or hurt you, but crying, Lord, I'm just trying to live for you, and I'm just trying to do it right, right? He know why she crying. He know why them tears is going down, and he going what? He gonna visit you. Now, when you crying out, you need to sit right there. All right. So how we treat people is very, very important, beloved. All right. You don't know how many people cannot get a connection, and Most High is not responding to them because of their treatment towards one another. All right. And that's where Yahushua was coming on the scene. Tell us about that love. Like, listen, y'all done got this commandments and laws mixed up. Listen, this thing is about loving, how to love each other, how to love God. And y'all done twisting up and messing it up to something it ain't. Okay. But it will what? He that serveth, all right, you have to serve him. You need to do the things of God that shall be accepted with favor. We want favor from God, right? Yes, we do. We need favor from God. We got to serve him. Not a good servant does the things that the master tell them to do, not what they want to do. All right. So, beloved, this is why we're going to learn and we're going to apply. Okay. When we learn and apply, then our prayers shall reach unto the clouds. Okay. This is what, when even going back to Cornelius, right? Your prayers have reached heaven, right? This is what it is. Because he meant to do right. He didn't even have everything right? He didn't even have Christ yet, right? But because he was doing all that, what he knew, right? God could add something to it. Because he was giving, remember, he was giving out doing these things. The Most High was what? He sees these things. He's seeing, okay, brother's heart's in the right place. He really want to serve me. Now, all right, let me send one of my teachers, preachers to him, and now introduce him to the gospel. All right, to my son. Okay, that's what happened. But it's this stuff right here. This foundations of old. It's not a new, this foundations of old. Okay. All right, Brother Kai. Let's read the next two verses, 17 and 18.
The prayer of the humble pierceth the clouds until it come nigh. He will not be comforted and will not depart till the Most High shall behold to judge righteously and execute judgment. For the Lord will not be slack, neither will the mighty be patient toward him, till he have smitten and sundered the loins of the unmerciful, and repaid vengeance to the heathen, till he have taken away the multitude of the proud, and broken the sceptre of the unrighteous.
Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth, beloved. All right. We want to be humble, beloved. You want your prayers to pierce heaven, you need to be humble. Right? We're not equipping you to bash people, push everybody down, tell them how much you know of God and they don't. No, we are learning this stuff so we know how to walk in humility, so that our prayers I can't express enough, beloved. Because I see it so much with Israel. A lot of us are not walking and praying in humility. We're praying in confidence. Not confidence, in cockiness. Right? God gotta answer me. You don't see what he got. Mm-mm. We need to humble ourselves, right? I wish I brought that with that. He brought the analogy, right? He talked about two people going up praying. The one man is going there saying, Lord, I fast twice a week. I give my tithe, I give my 10% of all. Right? I'm not like this sinner over here. Right? He's cocky on these things. He put his confidence in the giving tithes of all, the fasting twice a week, right? I'm doing the law better than this individual, which is, listen, beloved, those things are good, not to take away, but through all of that, you will think his heart will be better. You will think we will walk in humility. That's the problem. You think because you did that, that now you're doing the walk correctly, and he wasn't. And it's the same spirit that's on some of our brothers and sisters, right? They coming in like, man, I'm fasting. These brothers ain't fasting, right? I'm giving to the truth. Not to I'm giving to the truth, giving this money to. And I am doing the laws. Some of them, I'm doing it perfect. Ain't messing. I ain't like these wicked ones that ain't doing the laws at all. Lord, I know you hear my prayer. I ain't like these wicked heathens. You hear my prayer. You're gonna answer me, right? You're gonna hear my prayer, right? And this is how we petition our King and our Creator. But Yahweh, he's saying this because this is what he was hearing. Yahweh, don't think he ain't just started off in Matthew. Remember, he'd been there. He'd been hearing these kind of prayers. You got that going on, then you got the humble brother over there, the humble sister over there. Lord, I, I don't even have enough to barely get by, let alone give to you. Father, I'm not praying and fasting, not reading like I should. I don't know how to serve you correctly. I know I'm making a lot of mistakes. I don't know your laws. I'm not doing everything. But I'm just what I have. I just want to. I just know you're worthy. I want to get close to you. I just don't have no idea how to. Christ said, which one you think the Father is listening to? Which one you think he is going to listen to and answer? And anybody that got half a brain, anybody got a spark of righteousness within them is going to say, well, that brother that was going there saying he ain't worthy. At least he had the mindset to know he ain't worthy. But he ain't probably going to hear this cocky one over here that think they're doing it right. And still, they don't understand that with that prayer, they're off. With approaching the king like that, they're off. This is what it's about, beloved. We want to see these things. And when we see these things, like, man, doing this wrong. I've been doing this wrong. Talk to the brother, like, man, we do a lot of things wrong. Sometimes in ignorance, right? A lot of things was in ignorance, but we're doing it wrong. But we praise God, like, yo, I thank Yahweh for Yahweh to wake me up from some things, for giving me these things. This is not so we can be cocky or disrespect anybody in their journey. We're not doing it for that, but we thank him that, his word comes alive. You desire and seek him, he'll be found of you. But we got to seek him humbly. Some people seeking so they can hurt somebody else, destroy somebody else, tear somebody else down. That's not what you want to use this thing for. All right. I'm going off to the sides. a side conversation. All right. Let's finish it up, Brother Kai. Let's finish it up. All right. But 18 was talking about, we already know he's going to take vengeance. All right. Vengeance is the Lord. He will repay. I don't got to talk about that every week. He's going to repay it. All right. Anybody that's not doing the will, not doing what's right, not seeking the Most High, not humbling himself before him, will be destroyed. All right. They will get the wrath of God. Nothing we can do about it. Okay. All right. You can finish it up.
Till he had rendered to every man according to his deeds, and to the works of men according to their devices, till he have judged the cause of his people and made them to rejoice in his mercy. Mercy is seasonable in the time of affliction, as clouds of rain in the time of drought.
Right. So he rendered every man according to his what? His deeds, and to the works of men according to their devices. All right. So, beloved, he is considering what we are what? Doing. I know God ain't worrying about your works. He ain't worrying about you doing. It's just about love, bro. It's just about love. You have to understand what that love is dealing with. All right. You will know the love, how somebody loves somebody through their what? Their actions, their works. Oh, I love her. I mean, God, just because a guy say he love you, that mean he love you? No. He say he love you, but he always yelling at you, cursing at you, putting his hands on you, cheating every other day on you, right? That's not love. But guess what? Don't judge him by his works. Just about what he says, because he say he love God, but this is what we have. It's what the church is built upon. Don't look at what I'm doing, fall for what I'm saying. Because I say I love God with all my heart, soul, mind, right? Because I'm doing that and praising and yelling top of my lungs. That's what he's going to judge me on, but not but what I'm doing, right? Not by the actions I'm doing daily. No, that's not how it is. Okay. But mercy, I love that verse 20. Mercy is seasonable in the time of affliction. All right. As clouds of rain in the time of drought. Right. This is where that mercy really has that power in that time of affliction, beloved. We can go through a time of affliction. We ask the Most High be merciful in that time. And that mercy during that time is going to feel like receiving rain when it was a drought. Okay. So we'll end it there. We'll end it there. All right. Anybody have anything before we close it out to people on YouTube? All right. Love it. Thank y'all. I've been so kind. I've been so sweet. Those is watching on YouTube. All right. We say shalom and yalla habatham, which means we love you all. Truly do.